Just 4 games remain in the 2025 regular season. The Cowboys' playoff hopes are slim, but not impossible as this Cowboys team gets ready to take on the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday Night Football and make a charge to possibly win the NFC East and squeak their way into the playoff picture. Alongside Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, and Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Youmans. Welcome into Special Edition from inside the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco. Let's take a look at that NFC playoff picture because right now the Cowboys are on the outside looking in, but they do have a chance. Their best chance probably to catch Philadelphia, who are slipping a little bit as of late. 8-5 are the Eagles. They would currently be the 3 seed in the NFC. If they lose twice and the Cowboys win out in their final 4 games, then it is possible. However, the Cowboys with the fifth easiest schedule on the NFL calendar remaining. The Eagles with the 3rd easiest schedule, so it's not going to be easy across the way. I'll start with you, Barry. What has to change for Dallas in order to make a push and to win their final 4 matchups?
In my opinion, what has to change for this Dallas Cowboys organization and team is they have to get more consistent on the defensive side of the football. I know they had a run there where that defensive line was on point and they were getting pressure, but they have to be consistent with that no matter who they're playing on the other side of the football field. Offensively, you understand you have the firepower on the outside with George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, you got Ferguson in there as well, and you got Dak Prescott, who to me is a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League. Offensively, they can play with anybody. It doesn't matter. But defensively, it seems to come in waves, and they got to get more consistent through the latter part of this season if they want to go ahead and win this stretch of games coming up.
Yeah, I agree with you, Barry. I believe that this team needs more takeaways. Obviously, that starts with the defensive line and their effectiveness up front, being able to elicit some pressure on opposing quarterbacks. I think they have to be able to take away the run so that teams can't have sustained drives and they'll have more opportunities in the passing game to actually be the recipients of interceptions. And I think if they are able to do that, they'll give Dak Prescott and his offense more opportunities to score points, and we know they've been relatively good at that all year long.
I just believe that the offensive line has to play much better. I mean, Dak has been a magician all year. It's time for the offensive line to step up and take over with time of possession and great protection for Dak.
Okay, so one way to win the time of possession battle is to not turn the football over. The Cowboys struggled mightily against the Detroit Lions, turning it over 3 times and in crucial situations as well. Detroit took advantage. They scored points. Why have turnovers been a concern for the Cowboys this season, Barry? Because in years past, they've either won the turnover battle or they've been close. This year, even as high-powered of an offense as they've had, they still have the turnovers.
Yeah, like when it comes down to the turnovers from the quarterback position as far as Dak Prescott is concerned, I'm okay with a couple tip passes here and there. I mean, that's going to happen. This is the National Football League. But what I need to understand with this offense is when you're going down, if somebody's tackling you, you have to hold on to the football. We've seen it time and time again this year, whether it's Ferguson fighting for extra yards, and you love that from your team. You love that from your teammates to show that fight out there, but you got to protect the football. On the way down, we've seen too many punch-outs, whether it was last week against Detroit or previous weeks where guys are fighting for those extra yards, but they're putting the ball at risk. And when you have a team that really is not good enough to overcome those turnovers, you cannot put the football at risk.
I think that just really goes into situational awareness. Some of the things we're talking about, those turnovers are occurring in down the distances that you don't really have a chance to make the first down. So if you're getting tackled by 1, 2, or even 3 guys in some instances and you have another 12, 13 yards you need to get the first down, just go down. Yeah. If you're, there's certain things that you just can't get there. So having situational awareness will limit the opportunities that teams will have to get extra hits, extra punches at the ball. It's mainly just a fumble thing. The interceptions are, tips, passes, those things happen. Dak just has to continue to not try to force the ball.
Just focus. Understand that it means a lot. Who possesses the ball and does the right thing with it the most used to win the game. And this team is not good enough to overcome those things, so just stay focused.
Do you feel like this offense is good enough, though, Nate? Because even with some of the turnovers, they're still putting up incredible numbers. Even behind you, you see Dak Prescott as the NFL passing leader. Is this offense good enough to continue to carry them?
More than good enough. We've preached that all year. We preached it coming out of the summer camp. This is a great offense. All they got to do is focus and do what they're supposed to do. And once again, offensive line play well. This offense cannot be stopped.
Okay, but what about the defense, Barry? Have they done enough to take a step forward and be good enough to carry if the offense has those turnovers as a problem?
No, I still don't believe this defense is good enough to overcome turnover issues. I mean, if you were out there taking the football away just as much as other teams were, then yes, I would say, okay, you have what it takes to overcome these obstacles. But from what I've seen so far this season, they do not have that on the defensive side of the football. They're getting better, but they're just not to that point yet.
Part of that, Isaiah, is turnover margin, and that's a two-way street. You can't turn the football over, but you got to be able to take it away. And they're not necessarily a takeaway heavy defense right now.
Not right now, but they need to become that, especially if you want to finish out in your own hands.
Definitely so. All right, later in the show, we're going to go one-on-one with the Cowboys front office. You've got, of course, Stephen Jones, who's made some big-time impact moves this year. Does he believe it's enough for the Cowboys to make a playoff push? But coming up next, Isaiah Stanback is going to go to the film room. We're going to break down what we've seen good and what we've seen poorly from George Pickens as of late.
Special edition presented by AT&T is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. And by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. This segment is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
The big story here is George Pickens. George Pickens throughout the game, especially late in the game, just looked uninterested in playing football. And that's what you can't have. If you're going to be a superstar, if you want to be the best receiver in the National Football League, you can never be disengaged. It doesn't matter if the game's going your way or not going your way. You can't just disappear in these games or else you're not going to have impact. And just right here, cruising routes. You're the guy. You're the guy. CD Lamb is not in this game. He's out, and you get intercepted on your slant routes, and you can't be the guy and half-ass it. I'm sorry, that's just, you can't, it's unacceptable. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you're looking at him and you're looking to pay him big-time receiver money, $40 million, you got to look at this tape and say, hey, is this a guy we can trust paying $40 million to show up regardless of circumstance? Yep. I don't know.
Some significant criticism dealt out by Richard Sherman on the postgame show on Amazon Prime following the Thursday night loss to the Detroit Lions, 44-30. Isaiah Stanback, I know you've talked with Rich, you've talked with Sherm a couple different times. I don't know what the relationship is between him and George Pickens, but there was some legitimate criticism there. What do you interpret out of the film that you've watched now? Is it similar to what Sherman's talking about, or is it a little bit different?
Everybody's entitled to their opinion, Kyle.
Okay.
Let's say that, right? I do believe that some of what George Pickens put on film against the Detroit Lions was valid, right, in terms of what Richard Sherman was speaking to. But let's talk about what we expect out of George Pickens. We expect positive results out of George Pickens. We expect him to run routes at a good rate. We expect him to pluck the ball out of the air. We expect yards after catch. And then lastly, touchdowns. Let's see what happened earlier in the year and what our expectations actually are. So where is George Pickens on this particular play? He is going to be right here in your slot. He just motioned across the formation. Now, what George Pickens is going to do, he's going to run an out route. He's going to push up and run out. That's how most people run out routes, Kyle, especially versus man-to-man. But that's not how George Pickens runs out routes, okay? He's going to run. You guys are going to see that's the first stem right there, okay? So right now he's running to the back shoulder. He put his foot in the ground. Now he's selling as if he's going to get to the back shoulder and run this fade route. That's at least what the defensive back is believing. Nope. Puts his foot in the ground again. So we just saw two stems. Came up. Stem to the outside shoulder, made him think he's ready to go, and then came to the sideline, creating space and separation. Now look at that separation right there. That's at least 3 yards of separation for an easy completion on a very difficult route that he made look so simple. All right, that's one thing. All right, let's go ahead and blaze on through to the next play. All right, boom, 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 boom. Here we are. Now George Pickens is going to be down here at the bottom of your screen. Bottom of your screen right here. Now we're going to have another out route. Now typically when you run an out route, you run it versus single high, okay? But most of the time, if you have a two-high shell like you have right here, where you have two guys at the top, all right, and you have a cornerback that is down here, typically this converts, okay? Normally, you can't run an out route versus a press corner or a sitting corner, so most of the time, you just take it to a vertical route. That's what teams want to do. They want to roll and take you out of it. Not George. I'm going to run full speed off the ball. Again, I'm going to do what? Run full speed off the ball, attack your leverage, Nation Wright. All right, I'm going to bend this thing to the sideline. Dak Prescott is a beast, so he's going to put the ball on the money. Guess what? First down, Cowboys. That's what we've seen. That's the good. But Kyle, what Mr. Richard Sherman is talking about is not what we just showed on film.
Not the good.
Not so
the
much.
Running off the ball, not exploding on the separation, and getting a little bit of room.
Now, right here, we have mirrored routes. All right, you got Jonathan Mingo going to run 14 yards and do what we call a rollaway. Run down there. George Pickens is going to have the same thing. He's going to do what we say a rollaway. 14 yards, peel back down towards the sideline. Nothing about this says to run half speed, looking back at the quarterback, and then Mosley your way on down here to the sideline. Not good. And if you guys have any questions, let's look at the top of the screen right here. Whoop, okay, you guys are gonna see Jonathan Mingo. Let me run that back. Jonathan Mingo's running full speed off the ball, all right? And you guys are gonna see, puts his foot in the ground, comes open, goes down the sideline. That's the way it's supposed to look, not the way that George Pickens ran it. So what Richard Sherman is very valid in his analysis. You're just looking for more consistency out of George Pickens.
And Mingo getting to 10 yards before Pickens even got to 7 or 8 yards. It's a little bit different, and it certainly plays an impact, especially in a game like that. When we come back here on Special Edition, Mickey Spagnola caught up with Cowboys COO Stephen Jones. We go one-on-one with the Cowboys front office right after this.
This segment was brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan.
The guy that was unbelievably playing well in the Detroit game, some guy named Brandon Aubrey. Made 5 field goals.
He's something now. He's having an unbelievable career, and I think that set an NFL record for field goals over 50 in a game. And but he's just as steady as it gets, and what a performance. He gave us every opportunity to stay in that game. I just wish he would have had one shot there at the end to win it, because I'm sure he would have made it.
Yeah, and the 63-yarder, it wasn't like one at the end of the half or the end of the game. It's in the middle of the game, and you just say, okay, 63 yards, go at it, big boy.
Well, it shows you the confidence Coach Schottenheimer and Coach Sorensen have in Aubrey. Just to throw him in there, like you said, in the middle of a half, or certainly if you miss, the field position goes the other way on you, just shows the confidence that we have in him.
You probably anticipated this, but the explosion of excitement and attention to the World Cup stuff that just kind of took place over the weekend, this past week, did it surprise you, or were you expecting it?
No, I think it doesn't surprise me in the least that people are so fired up about getting to host the World Cup here in North America. And certainly AT&T Stadium is going to be a big part of it. That's one of the reasons, we built AT&T Stadium is for mega events like this. And certainly to be able to get that, have 9 games here in North Texas is a big deal. And obviously there'll be people from all over the world coming to North Texas and are going to get to experience AT&T Stadium. So it's not surprising at all, but I sure look forward, and it looks like we're going to have some great games as well. I think we got Argentina and Messi twice. We got England. Anyway, a good group, Netherlands, a good group of teams there that I think our fans are going to really enjoy following here in North Texas.
Okay, Stephen, thanks a lot for your time.
You can check out the entire interview with Stephen Jones on DallasCowboys.com. The Cowboys made their visits to the local hospitals in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex to spread some Christmas cheer. We go inside the yearly hospital visits when we come back.
This segment was brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan. This segment is brought to you by the Salvation Army, doing the most good.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
The holiday season means a little bit more in Dallas.
Hi, Jack!
What's up, Case? Hi! What's up? Give me a hug. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Every year, the Cowboys trade the field for hospital hallways.
Can I get a high five?
Spreading joy where it's needed most.
You're in a situation where everything's not perfect, the situation's not perfect. You see how people react, man. These kids, each and every time I get a chance to do this, they react with a positive mindset, and it just gives you a blessing. So it's super amazing to be around a great group of people.
Charlotte Jones, the team, along with DCC, continued a 36-year tradition, splitting into groups across 4 North Texas hospitals.
Getting close to Christmas, I just want to get back and, show joyful spirits.
Ooh, do you want that?
Ooh.
What do you say?
Thank you.
It just makes me feel like a great person, just brightening their day.
delivered stockings loaded with goodies, and making stops into rooms uplifting patients fighting battles far bigger than the game.
This is very important. One of my favorite moments of the day, and especially moments that we get to be in the community, of just coming here today at the Children's Hospital here down in Dallas, just able to put some smiles on some faces, cheer up some patients, their family, just provide a little bit of hope during this holiday season.
Today wasn't about rankings or records. It was about presence, reminding kids that strength shows up in many forms, and sometimes the loudest cheer happens in the quietest rooms.
The kids bring us so much joy, and then we get to come in and meet so many amazing families. It's just the most magical time.
It's just amazing to see how happy we can make somebody.
And it's special for me to come in here and just be able to provide a little bit of light, you know, to their holiday season.
I got news about him getting worse this morning, so I just started driving up here, and halfway here she called me and told me they was coming. I was like, oh, I'm almost there.
And for every autograph, every laugh, the Cowboys left with something too.
I'm so thankful that I have an impact that can cheer up their day, but it means a lot for me to be able to share this time with them.
Perspective, gratitude, and a reminder that some victories never show up on the scoreboard.
A lot of these kids don't want to be here, so just being able to come in and put a smile on their face and just bring them that joy even for a day is super important.
To see kids the same age of my kids just reminds you of how unfair life is, and just to be thankful for the cards you're dealt and just playing them the best we can.
For the Dallas Cowboys, I'm Nicole Hutchison. Go Cowboys!
Hello.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Always an incredible tradition, spreading some Christmas joy this holiday season. When we come back on Special Edition, we'll take a look at the Vikings, who, of course, have had some Jekyll and Hyde this season, being shut out and then dealing a shutout. What can we expect from Minnesota?
This segment was brought to you by the Salvation Army, doing the most good. Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today. And to watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Special Edition, presented by AT&T, was brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And by AT&T, connecting changes everything.
The Cowboys' Week 15 opponent, the Minnesota Vikings, currently in the cellar of the NFC North. However, it's been one of the toughest divisions in all of football this year, and they've had kind of a wild back and forth, a Jekyll and Hyde per se. They get shut out one week by the Seattle Seahawks, a team with 10 wins. Then they turn around against another NFC East opponent in the Washington Commanders last week and take them down 31-0. Guys, what do you see when you look at this Minnesota team? Barry, I'll start with you.
When I look at this team, offensively, they're loaded at the skill position. When you talk about the weapons they have on the outside with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, they also got Hakasan, who I understand he may be questionable, may not be out there, but they got a solid running game as well. But when it comes down to the Minnesota Vikings offensively, I always look at that quarterback position. Do they have a guy at the trigger position that can make this offense productive? I don't believe so with J.J. McCarthy. I believe this defense for the Dallas Cowboys can take advantage of it, but we'll see come Sunday.
In terms of talent on this team at the skill position, Barry's absolutely on par with the fact that these guys literally are a top 3 team that we faced this season in terms of talent. I'm talking about running back, talking about receiver, talking about the tight end position. These guys are absolutely loaded. Offensive line is solid as well. They do fall short at the quarterback position. But, you know what, just as anybody in this league can, you can wake up and have one heck of a day. And if he does so, then this team is one team that you have to be concerned about, and they are definitely dangerous.
I'm going to switch over to the defense. Brian Flores got a bunch of guys. Van Ginkel, Jonathan Allen. They can make plays, my friend, and they will confuse you. They just a ball of confusion trying to come down the middle of your offensive line.
And that's one of the things that Flores has done on the defensive side is they continue to bring pressure, and they do it from different directions. It's not just one spot, one player you have to worry about. Dak Prescott going to have to decipher the blitz. The Vikings blitz more than any other team in the NFL. But you know who's been great against the blitz in his career? Dak Prescott. We'll see what happens on Sunday Night Football, 7:20 kickoff on NBC. You can catch all 3 of us and everybody else involved with Cowboys pregame live coming up this week starting at 6 p.m. Central Time. That does it for us on Special Edition. We'll see you next week.